I say that we are a non-religious organization. We're an amateur garage club of philosophy. Okay, we just meet, we do our thing, we split up, and it's over. Okay. So, in that sense of freedom, where we are kind of disorganized, we just meet up when we feel like it, and then we each do our own thing, okay? And no one invades anyone else's life. So in that way, we are non-religious and non-dogmatic. We philosophize together, it's fun, and then we're each on our own. In another way, we do practices that are usually done in religious environment. Even while we have a non-religious format, we do rituals sometimes, because we acknowledge the efficacy or efficiency? Efficiency. Why do we use efficacy?
Efficacy? It's also correct.
Oh, it's also correct. It's another dialect. All right. You know, being not an originally English speaker, I learn words. So the efficiency of rituals, like doing prayers. So we do them. Those who want, those who don't want to learn them, just, you know, stay peacefully silent while we do our prayers. You can follow on a sheet that we gave you this morning, a prayer sheet, if you want, or you can just relax and take it in. And the goal of these prayers, again, is not to form a sense of religious appartenance or belonging to a group. It's because we understand what they mean, and they're actually proclaiming our freedom. They're proclaiming that the divine experience is something you get on your own. The master is there to inspire you, but then you are on your own path and you do your thing. That's kind of the base of our tradition of Maha, okay? Freedom. So take your prayer sheets. We're going to do the prayers. We want some higher consciousness. We're going to invoke it in various ways. Om Jaya Shri Ganesh, Om Jaya Shri Ganesh, Om Jaya Shri Ganesh. Om Jaya Shri Ganesh, Om Jaya Shri Ganesh, Om Jaya Shri Ganesh. Om Jaya Shri Ganesh, Om Jaya Shri Ganesh, Om Jaya Shri Ganesh. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayate. Om Hiryambakam Yajahamahe Sugandhi Purti Vardhanam Urvaharukam Bandhanam Riksharam Amritate. Om Sukam Paradaram Vishnam Sashivabram Chaturbhujam Prasanavadanam Diya Yetsarva Vigno Vashantaye. Agarshana Padmakam Gajanana Maharnisham Alekadantanam Bhaktanam Yekarantam Upasmahe. Om Namo Bhagavate Veshaje Guru Vedur Yatra Paracaya Tatagataya Harate Samyak Samudaya Tajata Om Veshaje Veshaje Maha Veshaje Veshaje Raja Samudyate Swaha. Om Shanti 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 Om. Kritanya Mahashriya Hijiva Karuna Jnana Chadharma Om. The true meaning of the word Mahashriya, which is the name we borrowed for our philosophical club. Okay. Mahashriya is the name of Brahma, which means to dwell in the great field. Mahashriya doesn't mean only great field. It is the concept to be dwelling in the great field, that you are in it. Okay. And the great field of Brahma it includes the idea that you are going where you want, freely. But that you're not going alone. You're going with the stream of consciousness of Brahma, the everything. Okay? So when we say Kritanya Mahajriya, Hijiva Karuna Jnana Chadharma Hum. Kritanya Mahajriya, we're saying thank you Mahajriya. It's not thank you to a philosophy club. Okay? We just borrowed the name. We said thank you Mahajriya. Thank you to the great field of consciousness, to everything that is aware, that I am dwelling in as I evolve. And then there's what we're grateful for. Hijiva Karuna, for the life and for the compassion. Jnana Chadharma, for knowledge and wisdom, because there's a distinction between knowledge and wisdom. Whom? That I live, that I feel, that I experience. That's the whom, okay? So, Kritanya Mahajriya, Hijiva Karuna Jnana Chadharma Hum. This thank you, great field in which I dwell. For the life and the compassion, for the knowledge and the wisdom that I experience, that I live. Basically, a feeling of gratitude for the ability to evolve freely and unhindered with the set of tools that are useful for that evolution to happen in the most pleasant way. Let's say the most lubricated way, okay? The most, with the least turbulence and resistance. That's what we want. Okay? This is not part of the kuji-in. This is part of the practices that was done by those who created kuji-in over time. Okay? So the Indrayans, those who were praising Indra, they were also praising Brahma, because Indra is a diminutive of Brahma condensed into becoming Indra, if you want. As Indra is the king of all gods, and Brahma is the idea that there is none but everything. Okay? So where you're going to concept. So those who created kuji-in, they created Navamudrani in the Hindu philosophy before Hinduism was collided together, when everyone was just doing their thing. And it was just happy to have means to evolve and celebrate. And they took the mantras and the prayers to Indra, which is celebration of the power of Vajra. Okay? Om Vajra Manantaya Swaha, for example. So they were celebrating Indra for every experience they have. Because if whatever you do with the divine, not with God as a person, but with the divine as an essence of consciousness, everything you do with the divine, you do better and you have less obstacles. Today the obstacles is who's going to be elected. And that time is there a saber-tooth tiger time to EB, okay? Oh, no, at that time there was no more saber-tooth tigers. Let's say just a big freaking lion pack, okay? That's good enough. So we each at our level of trial, okay? So it was a ritual to address immediate daily life situation, to give you the guts to go through it. And by doing this, they realized that it delivered much more than what they were building. It delivered revelation of fundamental truths of the universe. And whatever they were doing with Indra as pagan people, as shamans, it led them to the Brahma concept. So universal truth of much higher philosophy. And then Navamudrani was born. With Buddhism, it was absorbed into a secluded sect of Buddhism, a Vajrayana approach of Buddhism, went into China, was adapted by some Taoists, and it appears in 200 after Christ in the books in Chinese books of immortal Taoists that accumulate everything that allowed them to extend their lifespan supernaturally. And kuji-in is in there, the mudras and the mantras as they were translated from Sanskrit to Chinese kanji, so there's a lot of accent. And from that, in the 1500s, it was brought into Japan from the Buddhists. It was taken by the Shinto a bit, but mostly from the Japanese who converted to Buddhism, to the Pure Land tradition, a specific branch of Pure Land that is Kenta, actually the Japanese Tendai. The Japanese Tendai is not really Pure Land, it's Vajrayana, but the Pure Land Buddhism comes from the Tendai because Tendai includes Pure Land. So this is just a little history. Where does kuji-in come from? Tendai comes from the Chinese Tenchai or something like that. It's the name of a mountain. It's where they got together to say, okay, you know that kuji-in thing, that like combining the hands and the mantras, we should make it an official teaching. So with the Council of Mount Tenchai in China, got to Japan, became Tendai tradition, which brought kuji-in to the Japanese. The martial artists that do ninjutsu realize how physically empowering it is for the body and the mind. Because kuji-in is not a way, at the base, it's not a way to address higher consciousness. It delivers that with time. Actually, it's quite efficient. But it's a set of tools, of spiritual tools, meant to address immediate daily life matters, such as physical enhancement, more powerful immune system, be able to defend yourself against enemies that are not necessarily people with swords, but bacteria or commune with nature. I mean, it was so broad in the application of what, as a pagan religion, like the Shinto was doing, like the Shugendo or the Shugenja, directly addressing the mountains, spirits, and the Tengu, and the realm of their spirituality they have already built. So kuji-in was so efficient for immediate effect in daily life that it was used by the ninjas, and now we have a lot of ninjas that say kuji-in is exclusive to them. They created it, it's part of their tradition, and anyone who is not a ninja cannot practice kuji-in. The amount of people who practice the original Navamudrani, the ninjas, is just a few of them who do kuji-in and are convinced to have the truth, but there's an immense background behind it. And kuji-in is mainly transported or vehicled by priests, not by warriors. Okay? So for the history behind it, I hope it helps. To address a question that is sometimes asked, mostly online, why is a non-Japanese Canadian guy teaching kuji-in? Well, how many yogis are there in the world who does not speak a single word of Hindi, of Tamil, of Pali, of Telugu? But they are yoga masters because they trained the art of yoga, and they speak many other languages, and they are even known as the good yoga teachers. And they don't speak the language because the art does not require the language. How many people do qigong? They never went to China, and some of them do qigong to the point of affecting physical matter. Do you understand? So yes, I do kuji-in. Why do I call it kuji-in instead of Navamudrani? Because kuji-in is good for marketing. People want to know about that art that is now known as kuji-in, that I have learned it as kuji-in also. So I named it that way. But when just reading the kuji-in books that are available was not enough. It was cool because there's good information. I still had a basic in there. But when I studied many other books, many other traditions, I'm a Hindu Swami, I'm a Buddhist priest, I'm also, I was a Christian priest also. I went to all these paths because I was looking for the truth. And I have learned so much about kuji-in from Vajrayana Buddhism and not from what the ninjas know, which is good information, but it is incomplete in my sense. If you really want to grasp the fundamental of kuji-in, you need to study who built it, who created it, and where it's from, all the background behind it. And the mantras that we use, they come from somewhere. They have a meaning. If you don't understand the meaning of the mantras you use, you're having 10% of the influence. So if you want to do efficient kuji-in, knowing what you're saying while you're praying, you should learn about it. What do the mantra mean? Where do they lead to? What's the philosophy behind it? What's the point of doing this system? So a lot of masters said, don't think about them, don't think this is your ego, this is your mental wanting to understand everything. Just let go. I mean, the truth is they don't know. They should be humble enough to say, I don't know, it was lost in translation. For real. So the translation exists. It's just that the mantras in Japanese that we're taking from the Chinese, that we're taking from the Sanskrit, actually from the Pali that came from the Sanskrit, okay? It evolved. So tracing back to the original mantras in the Indra rituals, so, so that's what they're doing. That's what they're chanting. Okay, so now let's explain it. Finger bending. Bend your fingers, say these words. And think about something. Well, actually it does work. It does mind training, like autosuggestion. Learning the philosophy behind it allowed kuji-in to just become this super powerful tool. And some of the renowned ninjas who were, not slandering, but, enthusiastically doubting the quality of the information I give, have written me back like 5, 7, 10 years afterwards saying, Maha, I've studied your book and your wisdom, and I thank you so much. I have never experienced kuji-in like that until I decided to just check it out. Like what is this freaking idiot saying about my art? And then bam, revelation happened. Okay? So it's normal. We can't be angry at people like that for wanting to protect the purity of their art, because they really wanted to avoid the charlatans that usually come and just want to do it for marketing purposes. And I understand that. But after 10 years of doing this, now my credibility is back on track, and many people in the ninja world are, like some of the worldwide renowned ones, are appreciating what I do. And it's okay. If I had stopped at the first wave of bitching, you wouldn't experience what you're going to experience this week, and I would not be known around the world for that specific art, which is okay. It's like when you're part of a religion and you talk to someone who's part of another religion, you see the tension that happens? This is bullshit. Where's the freedom? Where is your authentic divine right to be free if the other doesn't have exactly the same equal right now? The moment you look up to the other, another one who doesn't have the truth. Come on. When you think like that, you're just stuck in your own enslavement, in your addictions to be right. Okay? So it's right for the Christian and the Catholic that are, from those in the crowd right now have mostly this background. Some of you have a bit of Muslim influence and whatever Santana background you could have, or New Age. Even the New Agers, there's no religion, there's only like this and that, and then, I do understand the influence of stones, but a physical stone like rose quartz cannot go into your emotional plane and heal your emotions. It doesn't work that way. Okay, it's a stone. It's physical. It will have an effect on your body, maybe your hormones, very, very light influence. And it's not yet based in science, but quantum physics explains a lot of things now. And as they say, the fact you believe rose quartz is about your self-love is more efficient than the actual rose quartz influence. Yeah. Well, I like to play with the properties of stones too, but never will I protect that phenomena like a well-convinced New Ager. You need to use that incense during that ritual on this day, or else it doesn't work. No, it's just influence. I mean, if I do a Jupiter ritual on Monday, I won't have the Jupiter influence. I'll have the moon's influence. All right, I mean, whatever. It's not that dramatic, You just pray when you pray. That's what matters. What is more important is you get to a point in all these philosophies, including the finger bending, and the mantras you use, and the incense you use, and everything we use in the most complex kuji-kiri ritual is just something that you will have to bypass eventually to become so complete that when you make a step, you made your practice. But before we reach that, we will learn the 45 components of kuji-in. Okay? With 5 components for 9 levels, that's 45 components of the ritual. We're good? So as you learn this, I am imploring you, do not believe that you are right. Do not go into the feeling of the defensive attitude that you have to protect this wisdom. Do not deliver this with the wisdom. Just deliver the wisdom. Because that wisdom, that too shall pass. I mean, I still do kuji-in because the tools work. It's like even a guy who really is good at building a house will not start to use his fist because he can nail it. You know, he's going to use his hammer. Okay, that's the tool you use to nail in the nail. But don't get to the point where you are becoming dependent on kuji-in so much that someone who has a different opinion has to disappear or should be slandered. Do not do this. It's not worth it. Compassion is worth it. Your behavior as a good being is worth it. That's what matters. Never protect Dharma. Never protect the quality of wisdom. Because if wisdom is bad, it will disappear because it doesn't work. And if wisdom is good, it will work and people will love it and keep it pure because of the result it gives. Not because you're protecting it like a sect. Do you understand? The wisdom that is pure protects itself through its efficiency. Good enough? So we don't need a guru and we don't need a religious order to protect the wisdom. That being said, there is still a book of the approved Maha wisdom. Because this is the thing that we say that we believe in terms of efficiency. But it doesn't say that anything else is not as efficient. Yoga is superb. It's not in the Maha book. And still yoga, I vouch for yoga. I vouch for acupuncture, and we don't have acupuncture in the book. Why? Because it's none of our business. Acupuncturists take care of acupuncture. Okay? So what we say is good philosophy for us, in terms of the study of Vajra, is just in the scope of that study. It's not an opinion about if you should eat meat or not. Okay? Nothing related. Okay? We're good? Good. Because there's many people who have never seen me, I had to give this speech about freedom, where kuji-in comes from, the slander that happened when I delivered my version of it, and why I didn't care about their slander. And I did what I had to do. Be a good person. I never defended myself to people who slander. I always said, thank you, you just told me how to better myself. That's it. Move on. I'm asking you, when someone bitches you, are you angry? Fucking whore. You're such a, I don't know, how do we call a bad man? An asshole? Alright, when someone just a random guy that knows or doesn't know you just throws a brick at you, how do you feel? Be honest. Take a breath. Yeah, I do feel insulted. You feel insulted. You will reach a point where you will feel gratitude. When someone insults you, he just told you something you can work on. Do you understand that? Do you understand that your pride is in the way of gaining the wisdom? Your pride is preventing you from gaining the wisdom when it is addressed, when it is brought to you. Like I said, this is not a seminar for newbies who never studied with me. It is a seminar where I bring you to face the reality of spiritual growth. Sometimes a very angry idiot throws bricks at people, just keeps insulting everyone, and the insult he gave you is based on nothing. Is it unwarranted? Or uncalled for? Doesn't matter. See, when you walk next to a trash can, do you bitch the smell? Oh, it's a trash can. It smells. You just move on, right? Just do that. With the massive insulters. But some people, they threw you one thing. It's like, all right, I behaved in a way for that person to be offended. Doesn't mean I was wrong. Maybe I am free, and that person is so enslaved to their rules of being polite or whatever, that they suffer my freedom. No, I'm not going to lose my freedom for someone's enslavement. However, sometimes it is because you were not respecting their freedom. You need to study that. Look at it. Am I responsible for that? I mean, you're not going to start feeling cheap every time someone insults you, like, oh my God, it's my fault. I did something wrong, or else I would not manifest that. Sometimes they are fucktards, and they just insult people, okay? Still, the universe, the great field, the Brahma's mind, found a way to bring you a message. What is the esoteric interpretation of that message? Right now, I did nothing wrong, but this guy called me an idiot. Or suggested it the way he put his chair back with that gaze at the restaurant. This kind of thing. That means that whatever I was thinking or doing right now, whatever was the topic in my mind, that is the answer addressing that. This is an information that comes with what is happening inside me right now. Like, I did nothing wrong for this guy to insult me, but I was wondering if I was going to proceed with a certain purchase. And then that phenomena happens. Do you understand that? All that I've been talking about this morning is about RIN. All of it is the first class of kuji-in. Okay? The great subjugating power of consciousness. Vajra is what comes bam like a lightning. We say it's a diamond because it's as hard as a diamond. When we translate Vajra in Japanese, it's hongu, so it means the adamantium, so the hardest metal. In Sanskrit, it means diamond and lightning strike. It's the same word. Depending on context, it's one or the other, but it's the same word. Because there's something similar with diamond and lightning. It is that feeling that it is magnificent. It is super hard, super intense, right there. And it sparkles. But one is tangible as a rock, and it stays. And one goes like a flash. When you realize there's a lightning, it's not there anymore. It's over. So the concept of the eternal and the impermanent at the same time. That's Vajra. The intemporal. So basically pure consciousness, not just pure consciousness samyan, but pure consciousness in the process of its revelation. It's a fourth-plane experience, not a first-plane experience. It's when you finally grasp it. The ha-ha moment, aha, eureka, that revelation experience. That's what Vajra means. And the first mantra of kuji-in, we'll give you sheets later about that. Right now we're just talking. Om Vajramanataya Swaha. Are you taking notes on your phone, or you're texting your girlfriend?
No, I'm
Because your
taking
girlfriend's
notes.
sitting right here not looking at your text notes anyway, so just kidding. Read. You're still going out with it, right? Are you? Oh, she goes, what are you talking about? Oh my God, did I just make a mistake? Oh, no, he's mine, don't touch it. Don't worry. I was just curious about you, in fact. No, just kidding. Not available, guys, not available. Girl. Yes, let's move on to the next topic. I'm teaching about RIN right now. Okay? The hardness of your social structures regarding sexuality. Wow, that's not fun to talk about. Oh, I want to talk about sex. Oh, I'm not going to talk about sex. Forget that. It's not a sex talk. It's a controlling, arrogant, possessive, jealous talk. And did you ever experience jealousy? I know some people, I'm not jealous. Yeah, okay, so when you see your lover in bed with someone else, you tell me if you're jealous. When you really experience it, you tell me how you react. Because if you're a healthy human, you are jealous. It's built in. Okay? There's no update yet for that one. You got it. Okay? When we study RIN, pure divine incarnation, it's just I'm here as an accomplished being already, I just don't know about it. Or if I know about it, I'm still flawed about it. Kuji-in kickstart you with the hardest truth to accept. You are a revelation. You are an explosion of the truth. That's what you are. You're made of the divine, there's no way out, and you live it. And you're constantly experiencing that truth. Swaha. Okay, this swa, self, ha, as it happened, or direct potential expressed. Okay? So swaha, just this is what I'm going through right now. It's just super pure objective life event. And one of those important components of the RIN study, the study of the first step of kuji-in, is how stuck you are in your flesh. How can such a wonderful, powerful, divine being can fit in such a small, highly compressed flesh prison? With all these passionate impulses that tell you to hunt for a lover, and to hate everyone who also hunts for a lover, especially if it's the same lover as you. I mean, everyone's the same. Everyone has a passion that goes for a lover. You know, after your 40s, 50s, that kind of settled down a bit, but you still live it. You still live it, girls? Still happens? You have, like, turn-ons sometimes? Does it happen? Yes? No? Too ashamed to talk? You like girls? No? You're into men? You have a man in your life? Is he cool? You're lucky. It's fun. Embrace that. Do you ever have feelings for another man? Does it happen? You're not on camera, no one knows you. It happens, eh? That's it. Thank you for your humility. You see, everyone is human. And there's nothing wrong with you when you have these feelings. If you're a slave of your animal, you want to act on those feelings, and that really screws up your life. But having these feelings is okay. Acting on them could be troublesome or fun, or both. Yeah, it could be fun on the spot. And then, you know, for these 2 hours of fun, these 4 years of hell. You know, if I had known, I didn't check the bills, you know, first, but now, you know, this is the point of the RIN teaching. Embracing Om Vajra Manataya Swaha. Embracing these powerful, immediate revelations of incarnate divine self that we're not prepared. We're not prepared for that. It's like a board game that you have no idea how to play, and once you win the game, they give you the manual to understand it. Okay, you win the rule book. Okay, it's like you understand life after you went through it. There's no manual. Okay, so it's okay. And something that I really like about RIN that is usually unexpected is the forgiveness aspect of RIN. You are not wrong. Breathe. Please have the humility to admit it. I go through human experiences that I don't control. Do you sometimes get angry? Do you sometimes get angry? Do you choose to get angry? Did you say, hey, I think I'm going to get angry now. Let's think about it. After your reflection, okay, it kind of comes up, huh? Do you admit that you don't control it? I mean, when it comes, you didn't make a choice, so you don't. So do you all apply with that? You see, this is the humiliation part of the starting of the class of kuji-in. You don't control your animal. It's hard. And that means when you got angry, it was just nature acting. You did nothing wrong. Breathe. Breathe that. Forgiveness. It took you by surprise. It took you by force. And you lost control over yourself. And it hurt. You were not wrong. You were free. You were an animal and a soul and a conscious divine being. It's a melting pot. So you feel that the more you accept to feel the humiliation, the regret, embracing your regret. I do regret my bad decisions. I even regret my good decisions. Yeah, I made good decisions and people suffered from it. I still will go with it because it was the right thing to do, and I really regret. I regret that I have to go through processes in life, and I and others will be hurt in the maturing process. It happens. And it wasn't my fault, and it wasn't your fault, and it wasn't anyone's fault. It's how it works. So the forgiveness aspect. There's a very strong aspect of faith in RIN that I often spoke. I'm not going to speak about this one. It's on other seminars and other videos and books. I want to speak of the forgiveness. Accepting that you were not wrong for loving someone. Like I said in a conference yesterday, do you sometimes have a vampire stick on you? Someone that comes and wants to leech your life force or your love or affection or whatever. It's not fun, huh? Well, you do that sometimes to others. Can you admit it? Can you accept? Maybe not. As we mature, we do it less and less because we try to be autonomous in our thing. But you have done that in the past. I mean, you remember one of those past relationships or past experience with a friend or your parents, and you were just so empty. You needed to be filled by someone else's power or presence or love. So you have been, draining or leeching someone else. It happened, and then you wonder why someone stops loving you or wants to get away from you. It's because they can't breathe. I mean, you've done that. I've done it. I remember. I teach by experience. I don't teach like I'm a great master. I'm above all the trials of life. Oh, fuck no. It's because I embrace those trials of life that I have the wisdom to deal with it. It's because I've just gone through those things in this lifetime. And I'm still arrogant. So just manage it. The hardest lesson of RIN is humility. It's just, I am that complete being. Complete means you're a savior of life and you're a killer. You are an honest person and you're a liar. Do you remember when you lied? Did you lie lately, like in the last 10 years? But it was to protect someone. You're a liar. It was to protect someone. You were like, okay, maybe it was good. Maybe it was wise. White lies, black lies, whatever. Some people have principles, you must never lie. Well, I agree that you have to try for the truth. And you have to try to alleviate suffering. And usually, you're lying to hide your own shit. I don't endorse lying. I understand the purpose of sometimes lying. I'm a liar. Yeah. If I'm speaking to a Christian, I'm not going to try to convince them that they should be Buddhist. No. I'm going to speak of Jesus and the wisdom of Jesus. I learned it. I went through the process. And I'm still using that wisdom very often in my conference. The wisdom of Jesus is awesome. What they did with it is a different story. But if someone wants to know if I eat meat, and they are hardcore vegan, and I say, that's none of your business. It's like saying to a vegan, yes, I eat meat. And then they hate me. Well, you know, I still don't lie. I still say I eat meat and look at them freak out. Like, oh, well, I eat meat and I'm at peace right now and you are not. So maybe your religious veganism is causing you suffering. Want to try meatball spaghetti with me? Maybe a glass of red wine with it? But the Buddha said, the Buddha ate meat, okay? Don't fuck with me. If you have studied the Buddhist wisdom, the Buddha says it is arrogant to declare yourself as a vegetarian, okay? That's the teaching of the Sakyamuni Buddha, okay? Oh my God! All that the New Age world say about the original Buddhist wisdom, and they never actually sat to read the books or study. I mean, anyone who reads the Christian books stopped believing in God. Anyone who actually read the Bible and believes that, my God, you have to be a freaking awful being. Yeah, to believe that it's better to give your daughter to be raped to a thief than calling the cops. Yeah, to avoid thieves plundering your land, you offer your daughters to be raped in exchange for the thieves not plundering your land. Usually the thieves accept. So it was a wise way to save your goods. I mean, if you're a believer of the Bible, you believe that. That's for sure. It's written there pretty clearly in many places. Okay? Good. Thank you. So if you didn't go through the study practice, the process, and use it in a method of personal growth, you're going to be screwed with all the beliefs that you just took in, because everything that says in the book is true. Who says that? The book? Heck, I'm going to write a book that says that whatever it says is true. I'm going to make millions with it and have followers and control people's mind. Hey, a book says the book is true, it has to be true. I mean, I read it on Facebook too, so it has credible backup, you know. The books deliver the wisdom that they are meant to deliver to the people they address. But any book, I mean, we don't need the Quran of the Bible today. We have civil codes that tell us we don't have the right to kill. I don't need a set of rules or commandments. I have a justice system. I don't know how you call it in this country. We call it the civil code. You call it like the book of law, or what is it? Like the
Code books.
The code books. You have code books, all right.
Yeah, state and federal.
Yeah, I mean, you have laws that the collective chose to say that these laws usually promote happiness. But Maha, political argument here, political argument there. I know political arguments and who screws who and who steals who and who's a thief. And I mean, your cop system works super well, all right? Because the majority of you were never beaten to death because you're sitting here. So cop works, okay? And of course there's corruption in the cop world as much as there is in the cooking world, all right? Or in the taxi world. Good, because we're human. Okay, but it works. So every belief that you have, just because it is soothing, is going to be broken by the RIN practice. Every security you have from how you think the world should be is going to be broken by the RIN practice. Because in the RIN practice, we are summoning the immediate revelation of what is true in your life, in your right there life experience. It doesn't mean to be a slave of your animal, but if you're jealous, you're jealous. And if you're in a heartbreak, you're in a freaking heartbreak. You can't pretend it's not there. It's right there, it happens. Your hormones are playing, and at some point it pulls you in a direction which is not the wise one, so you just don't play with it. It's okay, just do your best, to handle yourself. But it happens, see? I do feel, I'm going to use the word believe very often, which is just do what you think best with it. I do believe that the reason why RIN addresses faith so much, Shraddha, how we speak of Shraddha and faith so much in RIN, is because there is no security. Someone asked me, why do I feel so insecure while you tell me it's still an illusion? I said, well, that's because security, that does not exist. Security does not exist. Hence, insecurity doesn't either. There's immediate experiences, okay, you call insecurity, you're afraid. If you ever reach strong feelings of insecurity, you have to work on yourself to find a supernatural level of self-trust. We call that faith. It's faith in the immediate self, not faith in the external God that comes to save you. That's not faith for me. Faith from the Hindu word Shraddha is not to be reverent to the gods so they come and save you. Faith is to have found that power inside you where you know it's going to be fine because you're here. You're just going to handle it. The immediate experience of faith as it is revealed by RIN teachings, like the Hindu Shraddha, the study of that city, is a certainty inside, a trust in evolution, and your determination to go through the process and resolve it. I can do this. Reason for which you invoke it. You'll just reveal me, just show me what I am. I want to know right now. Vajra is make my mind. Man tai means just bring it to flow through my mind, flow through me, or deliver the Vajra. Vajramanatai is just bring me that consciousness, that awareness. That is the immediate experience that I have, the Swaha. That, Swaha has been translated as giving grace or doing a sacrifice. Okay, but that's just a side effect. When we say Swaha in the Sanskrit in the Hindu religion, it is the idea of giving a bit of rice to the gods. So it's a symbol of sacrifice, which represents that you lose, represents that you detach, which actually means what you suffer when you're mourning. Okay, this is where the Swaha comes from. What you feel when stuff happens. Okay, when I say there is love and stuff happens, stuff happens in Swaha. Okay, so make it happen. Om Vajramanataya Swaha. We'll review the sheets and the mantras and everything. I'm just talking. Okay. Let's talk about shame 2 seconds. If you have shame, because I talked about a topic that disturbs you. If you have shame, it means you're a normal human, so it's okay. I mean, I was pretty blunt with the new girl here, like asking a very personal question, and she's like, "My God, what are you doing to me?" I mean, that was kind of arrogant. Yeah, that's my way of teaching. It's arrogant, but the goal is I want her to be happy, and she should heal the shame. That's it. The goal is forgiveness. Okay, I'm not bad. I'm not wrong, It's out of love, but, first it looks like, why the fuck are you invading in my privacy? Because you want me to help you be happy. So, I mean, we're not in bed. We're just talking in a conference room. Just teasing everyone. It's so fun. Yeah. In Occidental demonology, we call the base demon Behemoth. It's not a threatening demon. It just means whenever there's an impulse in nature and you decide to act on it, or you don't decide to resist. you just go with the flow. That's the behemoth in nature. It's nothing, it's not evil per se. It's just a force of nature when you don't have an education in virtuous behavior, you don't have personal growth background, you just go with hating someone because he stole your bananas, because he took your car without asking permission, or offended you gravely in various ways. When hatred comes in, it's just a natural being, it's just normal, So you're not wrong, and that's very important. We teach a lot of emotional integration in the Maha wisdom, which is how to face what you are inside so that you can become powerful. I mean, even the martial art artists to whom I teach, when I teach RIN to deliver power, I speak of the things I'm speaking right now. The objective is to make all the insecurities rise. Because once you found your power, once you found your certainty, every punch you give is 5 times more powerful or more. You can literally destroy things that before hurt your hand. It's all about how insecure you are regarding your budget, your lover, your house, the opinions others have of you, your standing in society. These things prevent the martial artists from becoming super powerful. And then they pretend they don't give a shit, and they become assholes and insult everyone. I'm not insecure, I don't care. But that's the thing, they're still not powerful. They're just obeying pride, trying to protect their weakness. Like, I did a long time, and I just understand. If you're proud and you're protecting your image towards others, you're normal and you should forgive yourself. It's just how we are, okay? Now we can work on it. It's an introduction to RIN, various topics. When I give a class of Kyo, then I'll make that link on how RIN supports Kyo, how it goes, okay? It's like your plan at college. We have a list of things to do, and if you learn a lot about, if a doctor learns about doing surgery before they're taught how to use plasters, there's going to be a problem in priority. You open up someone, but you don't know how to stitch them back. I mean, that's a problem. Okay, you can't do this. If a mechanic, you say mechanics in your language, huh? Okay, if a mechanics learn how fuel explodes before he knows how to contain it into a cylinder, we're going to have another problem there. Okay, so there's a process of things to learn to make evolution easier. It's not absolutely required. You will evolve, but evolving without a structure, it will be a bumpy road, with trial and error. Some of those errors, they kill you. Okay, start over. So that's why it's good to have a plan. And kuji-in is like a plan on evolution in becoming an accomplished divine incarnation. And you do develop supernatural abilities quite easily afterwards. With the practice of kuji-in, you just become super powerful. If you don't address the emotional implication of every level, you're going to have some of the power, but these trials will just jump in your face. If you practice kuji-in so much, but you never do the emotional therapy inside, your life will be ruined. Something will happen because evolution says, oh, so you're there now, bam, here's your trials. And everyone you love starts to hate you, and people you trusted betray you, and you become in financial breakdown, you have burnouts, you're emotionally broken. I have seen so many kuji-in artists destroyed because they didn't do the therapy that goes with it. And sometimes the kuji-in masters, they say, if you're not guided by a master in kuji-in, you will get mental problems and you could hurt yourself. It's dangerous. Well, it's not really dangerous if you follow a good strategy. Even if you're not in person with the master, if you just read the books and watch the videos online, I mean, if you listen to the words, you understand. But if all you want is the power, well, I'll teach you anyway, you'll get it. I don't mind. It will ruin your life, so you'll have no choice to resort to the therapy part. Okay? It's going to happen. So I'm cool with that. I'm just warning you in advance. You should, follow the guidelines, the major guidelines. All right? If you're afraid and you pretend that you're not afraid, then you are in double denial. Fear, pride. If you're afraid and you admit it, you have only one denial. You're more powerful. Once you've found a true certainty of yourself inside, based on joy, love, and that power of your soul in your body, then there's no more fear. Then the fear just goes away. Fear is information. It's just a little guided. Yeah, sure. You keep acting. You just hear the voice. Well, not crazy voice. I'm just metaphorically saying, you feel the fear rise, give you information. Okay? Good enough? I'm trying to do a balance, like bringing more new stuff to the advanced students who studied kuji-in for 7 years, and still covering the basics for the new students that without the basics, I mean, they're going to be lost when we get the Zai or Zen. It's a soft introduction to the seminar. It's going to be more powerful, more disturbing. If at any point you had enough of this seminar, it's too much. You can jump one course, 1 hour, and then come back. Okay? But if you jump 2 courses, like an entire afternoon, a course is like a period of 1 hour and 15 minutes, more or less, and then a break time. When I give a break time, that's a period. You can miss 1 period, but if you lose an entire afternoon, or 3, let's see, maybe 3, I don't want to put rules, but the moment you jump 2 or 3, you should actually drop the entire boot camp. And if you gave money, we're just going to give it back to you, right? If it starts to physically hurt and you don't want to handle it, respect yourself. If you want to handle it and you face it, you're going to heal that part. Something is going good. It's not going to be comfortable. You're going to have a balance of explosions of bliss and little moments in your own hell. It's going to happen because that's kuji-in. It reveals everything. You bring more light, you see more shit. You clean it up. You can bring more light, it reveals more shit. I hope that we will reach a point where the majority of you will get a Buddha moment, even if you're way from the Buddha state. I hope you'll be able to get a Buddha moment during this boot camp. That's what I'm aiming for. So if I want that, I mean, some of you are far from enlightenment, which is like way down there compared to Buddha state, okay? So some of you are not at the stage of enlightenment. You're cleaning up. You're just doing the personal growth part, which is like the awesome part of the path. So I'm not going to respect your limits. There's road to travel. For at one point a glimpse of pure Brahma clarity at one point to happen. For the great majority of you. So I'm aiming for that, and that means that there are people who are going to feel that it's a bit too much for them, and it's okay. Take a break, take a period off, maybe an afternoon. I mean, really try to be there for the morning, because this is the kick-ass wisdom. You need that to proceed, to progress. If you need to jump 2 or 3 periods, or if you can't be there a day, please stop. Except those who are past enlightenment, confirmed by the masters of the Vajra, who can go back into a state of bliss, that already got some knowledge of kuji-in, then you just pop whenever you want in my seminars, because you know you can flow where we are. But whoever is not known, who do not know that they are enlightened with a pure state of mind anytime they want, it's going to be terrible if you continue. When you start suffering kuji-in, stop, and it's going to go away quickly. Okay? So I'm doing anti-market. I'm saying, give me less money and go home. Okay? And if you have the courage, I hope I'll be able to cover my plane ticket at least, you know. That's why you give a donation, right? Don't worry, if I have excess money, I redistribute it. Don't worry about it. Is it okay? Is it good? Okay with that? There was someone who could not attend the day because of their work, but they really wanted, and they have past experience, and I said yes. You just ask for it if you can. If it's about work, I understand. But if it's about your pain, consult a master of Montreal. Are we gonna have a break? It's only been an hour.